Hey everybody, it's Adam from the Institute of Human Performance. I'm here with the IHP staff and Carlos, and we're here for JC Unplugged episode 10. It will also happen to be our last one of 2015. We've had a pretty busy last month and a half with the holidays. We've had about 20 plus trainers from Brazil here for the IHP mentorship, and that was absolutely awesome. And then we just recently had our IHP holiday party, but we celebrated not only the holidays, but we celebrated our 15th year anniversary of being in business. And more importantly, I think we celebrated Carlos's release of his new book, Functional Training. It's his 15th book, so quite honestly, we've been in business for 15 years. He's been cranking out a book a year for 15 years, and I'll let him talk a little bit about his book before we get into our questions, but I dove into this over the last couple of days, and it's a compilation of all his other 14 books kind of wrapped into one nice book. So if you want to just touch base about it at all.
Yeah, that book has a little bit of a history behind it. I started writing it about 4 or 5 years ago, and things were going on in my life where I just didn't have the right writing style, because it's being published out of the trades division for human kinetics, which means it's a consumer division. It's not the professional personal trainer, academic division that they're known for. So I had to come up with a style that, as Jason Muzinik would say, could educate the father of a high school athlete. He says, imagine you're writing for that person, you know? So I tried for about a year and a half and actually wrote nine chapters in it and couldn't capture it. I wasn't the right time for me, and I gave it a year and a half off. And then I said, you know, this book is the only thing that's beaten me. So I pulled it out at mark number 3 years in, and I pulled it out of the old files, put it on my desktop. I said, let me start working on it and surprise Jason, with a book rewritten. So that was in November of 2013. January of 2014, Jason calls me and says, hey man, I just came back from a conference and they were asking for stuff with your name in functional training. I didn't have a book. Would you be interested in writing that book that we started on, about 3 years ago? And he said, I understand if it's the right project at the wrong time. And I said, funny you should call me, because I pulled that project out of the old files and put it on my desktop so I could work on it every day. So sure, I would love it. He brought in a new editor to look at it with fresh eyes. Her name is Michelle Maloney, and Michelle just really added a whole new life to that book. And I got back into the groove, and I finished it inside of a year. We wrote all 9 chapters, and she did a wonderful job mixing everything, getting rid of stuff we didn't need, combining chapters, and so on and so forth. So Adam is right. This, I believe, is my best work, because it involves all the 14 previous books, plus the new stuff. So the things that I wouldn't write again in the original functional training are not in there. And the stuff that I've come up with since then, like the anterior posterior serape, the top 4 sports performance, the octagon, the oxymoron that sports-specific training is, the 4 pillars updated, all of that is here. Our cookie cutter format for programming design is here. And the Fit Moves, basically DVD work that we did about, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. 2-volume, 300 exercises, all sports. That was the format that I used for this. So it's really a compilation of the best in one book. And I got to give it up to Human Kinetics. I understand why they charge what they charge and they do what they do, because I didn't even know there were like 4 different editors involved in one book. There's a copy editor, there's a content editor, there's a development editor, there's a final editor, there's this editor, that there. I don't even know how many eyes are on this project here to make it what it is. So I'm very happy with it, very grateful for the experience, even grateful that it took 4 years, because there was a lot of lessons in those 4 years that make the book what I think it is, which is my best work.
Now, where can people pick it up? IHPFit.com, and what about Amazon?
Amazon / functional training.
Amazon / functional training. JC's book called Functional Training. There's the front cover. Have at it. Let us know what you think. So we're going to wrap up the 2015 with some questions that aren't so training oriented or technical, but more about the lessons of 2015. So I'm just going to get right into them, Carlos, all right?
Okay.
What has been the biggest lesson of 2015 from a business standpoint, business management standpoint?
I think, as you can see, they were not pre-planned. I gave you the questions, but I haven't thought about it. I was looking at the show The Prophet about 4 days ago, and it's no big deal and no big special episode, but he was involved in a business, and one of the partners came in. There was two partners. It was a bakery situation of candy maker. And there was a candy maker, part of the business dude that he loved making candy. He was in there 12 hours a day. When he made candy, he came out. And there was this other guy that put in a little bit of money and he thought he'd done all this and he hadn't done nothing. So there's a crucial point where a big order comes in and all hands on deck, like when we have projects, all hands on deck, everybody decorating the place, boom, everybody cleaning. And this guy's like, took off his apron, he says, really, I'm not a cook, I'm not this, thank you very much, and he left. And the prophet said, well, this guy is an investor, he's a part owner, but he doesn't show up. When it was time to deliver, he doesn't show up. I said, well, part of the business is you got to show up. And so just that alone, I called the reel the next day, I said, you know what, I want to get back on the floor and train 10, 15 hours a week. Because it'll be good for many reasons, because it'll allow me to show up. And show up doesn't have anything to do with setting foot in the place or even spending hours. It's like I told the staff, it's the energy. It's the energy that you bring. That's when we say show up, it's bring the energy, the intention. So the biggest thing I learned is if you want your business to grow, you have to show up. You've got to give it energy. The intention has to be right. I've always said, words become thoughts, thoughts become things. My words have always been this. I never made IHP to make money. Very organically. And little did I know that those words became thoughts, and those thoughts became an energy, and that energy is what showed up. I came here, loved what I did, but the energy was, don't make money, don't make money. And no matter how much money you throw into a business, if your energy is, don't make money, you know what? You don't make money. So I've done everything else but make money. We've become like the mecca of functional training. I mean, we got a mentorship program that's a monster. People from everywhere in the world. We're in like 30 different countries, for crying out loud. But now, I'm showing up with a different energy. So the biggest lesson is, watch what you say, and more importantly, watch what you feel. Because what you feel is what happens. That's the energy, that's showing up. So show up for your business. Show up for your business. You gotta get in there, you gotta put the right energy, you gotta manage people, which is extremely difficult. That's the hardest thing. You think everybody's like you. Everybody's not like you. Everybody doesn't bleed the place. People have other things, other interests in their lives and stuff like that. And you have to manage it, which means you got to show compassion, but at the same time, you got to direct. You got to direct. You can't have pity. You can't have mercy. You can have understanding, but it's, hey, got to do it. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't want any excuses. You got to do this. Pretty much like a coach does. So showing up just like a coach does for a team, you got to show up for your business.
Great show, by the way. I know the episode you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows. If you guys haven't seen it, The Prophet, it's a great show. A really good show. What's another big lesson of 2015? What's the biggest lesson of 2015 from a personal training, programming, exercise standpoint?
The biggest thing that we came out of here, I think, with 2016 was, 2015 was the Octagon. Kind of finalized that, made it simple, which ties in the Serape effect with 5 different vectors of training, 8 different directions, about 5 different exercises, and the RDL cable exercise, and the variations we came from that. If you're going to say, like, if you would have asked me 15 years ago, what was the key exercise, I would have said single leg anterior reach, which is still like water for us, right? Essential. Then after that, what's your favorite? I would have said lateral reaching lunge. Everybody does it. This year's exercise is the cable RDL, which is a great strengthening exercise, great rehab exercise, and the physics of it is just phenomenal. How it can train the back, the glute, and the hamstring while at the same time, at the most vulnerable level, where the back is, that's when it's most compassionate and most forgiving on the back, but the biggest tension on the hamstring and glute. So that for me was the biggest eye-opener, along with the octagon and anterior serrapic, tying all that into one seamless program.
All right. What's the biggest lesson of 2015 on a personal level?
Oof.
Careful.
Yeah. Personal level. I would say the association of awareness, acceptance, and integration. How those three things in that order get you through dark moments. You have to be aware of a problem, aware of what makes you trigger, good, bad, or indifferent. What makes you doubt yourself? What makes you weak? What makes you insecure? What makes you jealous? What makes you envious? We all have that. So you have to be aware what part of you that is. Okay? You have to be aware that is part of you. That's your spiritual DNA. You're never going to get rid of it. So don't think you're going to, get rid of it. No, you didn't get rid of it. You're managing it. Pretty much like an alcoholic. Always an alcoholic, just managing the alcoholism better. So that's your spiritual DNA. Nothing to be ashamed of. Got to be aware of that. Then you have to accept it. When you accept it, you accept responsibility for what that does in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. And then the integration is the management. Now the management of everything you're aware of and that you accepted, that management becomes second nature. Second nature. So at first, when you're not aware, this little thing that you've got inside of you, this little demon comes up and boom, wrecks relationships, wrecks business, makes you scream, makes you yell, makes you do crazy stuff, right? When you say, oh, there it is, okay, I accept responsibility for it. It is me. It's not that person. It's not them doing it to me. It's me doing it, period. Okay, what are the tools that I have to kind of manage it, to kind of see it as it's coming up so it doesn't crash the car? That you start to work. So instead of sabotaging 10 out of 10, now it sabotages you 8 out of 10, then 7 out of 10, then 4 out of 10, then 2 out of 10, and then becomes so manageable that a lot of times you just see it coming way ahead of time, and you go, here it is. Okay, nothing bad. I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to react to it, but here it is. I'm going to acknowledge it and let it go. Boom, and then it's almost 0 out of 10. You're always going to have your meltdown, so I'm lucky to get to 80%. I'm happy if I get to 80%. So that's the biggest lesson. Awareness, acceptance, integration, what each one is, how they work together, and how to use it in different aspects of your life.
All right. Sure that's it? You got it? Got it all out? There it is. What do you see in the industry, going on in the industry for 2016?
For sure. And this is the reason that I've taken so long to do the personal trainer certification in IHP University. The personal trainer has a bigger role than we ever thought. We thought it was just physical education. We're seeing now that it's physical education, and then some people are coming into gyms with emotional issues, and they're trying to take care of it with diets and exercise. That's cool. The diet and exercise can be the tool by which the communication begins, but the process, yeah, it can be physical, but the ultimate process is going to be awareness, acceptance, and integration, and how to use the exercise environment, how to use the topic of diets and nutrition and detoxing and all the stuff, all the popular words that are out there that catch people's attention. That's what we use to capture them, okay? And then the exercise gets them, and all of a sudden, they get into this breath thing where their concern is breath, oxygen. Right there, you have them on a very, very crucial moment, which is the moment that now. They're not in the past, they're not in the future, and that process takes years in a meditation class or in a yoga class for you to learn. In exercise, due to breathlessness of exercise, it's there organically. So the personal trainer, if aware of some of the tools that you can use to become aware, accept, and integrate, can use the moment. Every rep, every set becomes an opportunity to apply the awareness, acceptance, integration model. And once you apply it to physical effort, life is nothing but a series of physical efforts. Can I get up early to work when I didn't sleep? God, my child is sick, he's had me up all day, can I get to work? Can I get them to school? How am I going to get through the next day? Okay, now I'm tired, I haven't slept, my child is sick, and my wife or husband is coming in, and they've had a bad day at work, and they're barking at me. How do I deal with that? All of that is a series of difficulties, a series of physical efforts, a series of discomforts. And if the trainer understands that every rep, every set is an opportunity to teach a person how to deal with that, then that person can deal with that across their lifespan and in different aspects of their life, not just in the exercise world. So that's why we say at IHP, our job is to integrate the training experience into the psyche of the client so they can better be motivated and inspired to greatness. So in other words, when every rep and every set becomes a significant practice for life, life becomes that much easier. People think it's because of the exercise. It's not. It's the teachings that occur during the exercise and the natural education that occurs during the exercise phenomenon. So that, I think, when trainers understand that, it's going to blow up the industry, and we're going to lead that. Just like we led functional training, we're going to lead the industry in that. Watch it happen.
All right, last question. What do you see happening for IHP in 2016?
IHP is going to become the business that it's never been. End of story. Rio and I, and along with the staff, are now committed to the staff, to their development as professionals. We had 11 trainers. We're down, you can't see it, but we're down to like the bare 6, 7. And we're going to start with those Spartans, and we're going to develop each one. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to serve the community, but within that sense of service, okay, we're going to pay very close attention to how we develop our professionalism, our book of business, and our finances, because I want all my trainers to be bare minimum $50,000 to $60,000 per year trainers next year. And Rio and I are going to be committed to getting that out of every trainer, so IHP is going to be a great business. So that's my goal. Number one goal for 2016 is to create the business out of IHP that it's been in the functional training.
Awesome. Well, that's it for 2015. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks to start off 2016. On behalf of IHP, want to wish everybody a safe and happy new year and a very successful 2016. And I personally, Carlos, I want to thank you for a great 2015.
Everybody gets excited. But Adam has been one of our senior trainers, and he's, as you can see, he's got a natural talent for this MC stuff. And all the other trainers here are true blue to IHP. That, we all bleed IHP. I want to thank Adam Griffin, who's not here. He's on vacation right now.
It's
and
his
all
birthday.
the guys behind the scenes here that you don't see in this shot. Thank you very much for believing in IHP and for believing in yourselves. And 2016, let's show the world that we're not just only the functional training mecca, we're a mecca of a different sort. Okay? All right.
See you guys next year.